Buddy, welcome back to the stream. This is Connor from Futures Analytica. Today I'm going to be doing a showcase of L2Azimuth R33. This is the update that was pushed last week to L2Azimuth, our level 2 data trading strategy, where we trade based off of the limit order book. We're going to start out the day here by arming Concordant, which is going to enable the automation of this strategy. We of course have counter spoof and trespass on as usual. You can see there we got placed into a trespass order. It was a limit order, as we do not use market orders for entries or exits. That happened again on trespass, however we did not get filled, meaning price moved away from our limit order before it happened. This is just to filter out any bad entries that can happen. You can see that we got 3 entries there, no fills. There we go, there's our first fill today. I believe that was a counter spoof trade. However, it happened so fast that I'm not exactly sure. It looks like we got another trespass trade there, but we're up $124.32 after commissions. So we're paying a pretty sizable amount in commissions, almost $25 per trade. But you know, like I say, who really cares if you're making money? Up to 145 now. We only got filled on 1 contract. We had a partial fill there. So up to 145 now.
Target filled.
Just got filled there on another trade. Up to 270 now. It's our second win, or sorry, our third win of the day. I believe that was also a trespass trade. You can see we have micro congruity on, meaning that price or our signal has to align with the 2-tick forecasting at the top right that we have enabled in order for this.
Target filled.
Up to 400 now. That's our 4th trade, I believe.
Target filled.
There we go. Getting some nice momentum here. Up to 518 on the day. Hey there, Marquise. Thank you for the question. You said, can one be profitable using micros, the default
Target
setting?
Filled.
The goal, earning simply $100 a day. So legally not allowed to answer anything regarding actual dollar values. But I could say this, is that with micros, we have a feature called trade full contract data. So you will get the same fills as you would on a on the actual full mini contract when trading micros. So there will be no difference to you trading micros and minis. In fact, you might get more liquidity trading micros. So you might even get some better fills there. So to answer your question, yes, absolutely. I'm using the default settings today. Hey there, Rich. You said, is there optimized settings to start with? Yeah, absolutely. I'm using the default settings today. Hey, Renice, he said, does it support futures trading prop firms? Yes, absolutely. I'm actually on a Apex account today. And of course, today, guys, we are using Sierra Prime.
Target filled.
Just got into another trade there, up to our $1,000 first milestone there. Doing good on there here so far.
Target filled.
Hey there, Jose. R33 should be pretty easy to install. You just run the installer and then import the software. But if you still need some help installing it, encountering any issues, email us at support@futuresanalytica.com and we will get that sorted out for you ASAP. Hey Matthias, you asked what broker and data feed are you using? To answer your question, I of course have to be connected to Rhythmic in order to use Apex's brokerage system, and I'm also connected to NinjaTrader Continuum, and I am connected to IQFeed.
Target filled.
Super solid trade there, up to 1,263.
Target filled. Target filled.
Up to 1,500 now. Wow, getting some really, really solid fills here. Yeah, Nami, so our settings are in the default section. If you just load up the strategy and you just click load default, it'll pull up the exact settings I'm using today.
Target filled. Target filled.
Super solid trade there, up to 1,200. We had a couple losses there, bringing us down from our 1,500 high of the day.
Target filled.
Doing pretty solid now, up to 1,371. Hey Shamar, yes, absolutely. So if you get the software, it actually comes with a comprehensive video course on how to set everything up. It'll teach you everything you need to know about how to use the software from basically zero knowledge.
Target filled.
Hey Matt, we do have best times a day to run the strategy inside of the actual owner's guide that comes with the software, so that'll give you a more comprehensive answer. But obviously, right
Target
now,
filled.
great time to trade. First 2 hours of the day, starting from 9:30 a.m. Eastern, of course, to 11:30 a.m. Eastern.
Target
It's gonna be
filled.
your best time to trade. Hey Perrine, if you're looking for our settings for today, you simply need to load up R33 and those settings will be auto-populated.
Target filled.
Hey Jonathan, you said what's the minimum VPS requirements and what a good response time in milliseconds is? Well, you're going to want to make sure your VPS has the ability to run the software, of course, which is just going to be it's a pretty lightweight software, but I do suggest having a couple of high-speed cores. You don't need a GPU on your CPU. The integrated graphics should do just fine. Aside from that, I do suggest having, at minimum, if you're not using a VPS, 30 milliseconds of latency or less.
Target filled.
If you want the best performance, we highly suggest using the VPS company that I own, which is actually Sierra Link. That's available in the description
Target
of the video.
filled.
And we have sub 1 millisecond latency times on our highest plan.
Target filled.
Up to 2,000 on the day now. Hey Nick, your question was, hey Connor, I need help installing the update on Sierra Link. Can you make that happen?
Target filled.
Absolutely, Nick. So if you have Sierra Link, we actually will install the update for you. We're just not allowed by our internal policies that we've set to touch your files unless you specifically consent to it. So if you shoot us an email requesting in your email, hey, I'd like you guys to install the newest update on my Sierra Link instance, we are more than happy to install it for you. But of course, we do need your consent in order to do that, just so you know those are your personal files, and of course there can be sensitive data on them.
Target filled.
So just shoot us an email and let us know, and we'll set that up for you. Hey Perrine, you said, does those settings change every day? Who sets it? Does this application learn every day? Where is it set? Great questions, Perrine. So I do not change these settings every day. I've been using the same settings for 4 or 5 weeks now, ever since we started internal testing of R33. And yes, the software does learn by itself. It actually does this with an in-memory stored machine learning model. You can see up at the top right, we have that 2-tick forecasting model, and all of that is based off of machine learning over the past 1,600 bars. So it's a very short-term model. But what this does is it allows the software to capture the most up-to-date recent market action for its model. Hey Nick, I'll make sure to follow up on that and make sure that these emails are getting answered. Unfortunately, our main support guy, Pete, he is in the hospital right now with a very difficult sickness. So we've been trying to make sure everyone's able to get sorted out. Of course, we're taking care of him, um, but that may be why there is a slight delay on that. But I'll make sure to reach out to the rest of our support team and make sure that that didn't fall through the cracks.
Target filled.
Up to 3,000 on the day now. Awesome. Doing pretty solid now. And that's after commissions. Hey, Sebastian, you said, is the Analytica
Target
chart
filled.
indicator needed for the strategy to work? No, it is actually not. However, the Analytica chart indicator actually comes for free with L2Azimuth. So you don't need to buy it separately. But of course, if you don't want to have that additional memory overhead of having these graphical elements loaded on your chart, you actually don't need to. You do not need Analytica chart to use this software.
Target
Looks like
filled.
we got 174 viewers today on the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you're enjoying what you're seeing here today, it would help me a lot to leave a like on this stream. Helps get the word out, helps get more people watching these videos. Looks like we got a partial fill there, so only up to 33.41 now. Pretty solid though. And guys, if you're new here, if this is your first time watching us at Futures Analytica, welcome to the stream. Super happy to have you. Basically, what we do here is that we are a research firm. We basically crowdsource our projects by selling them at the end of the development cycle. There are a lot of strategies that we develop that don't pan out, and you guys never hear about them, but this is one that did. We do pretty complex research on these strategies, and we actually have a full white paper written on this strategy available in the description. I'll post a link to that right now. If this is your first time watching L2Azimuth, we also have a pretty comprehensive video watching how, or we can see how the strategy works. It's available in the chat right here. So check those out after the stream.
Target
doing
filled.
Pretty good stuff here. Counter spoof is carrying us today. Got a loss there, back down to 33.39.
Target filled.
Got a nice win. Getting some losses here. Also, guys, if you're interested in picking up L2Azimuth, we do have a sale running right now to celebrate the release of R33. And that code is basically just R33 update. So pretty simple, but R33 update, you can get 20% off the lifetime or quarterly package with our software using that code. And of course, you can check out L2Azimuth with the link in chat. Getting a couple of back-to-back losses here. You can see that this happened right when we entered this large zone of chop. You can see that trespass does not do very well during these zones. You can actually optimize the strategy by turning off trespass when you get these adjacent bars. We're letting the software pretty much just do its thing though.
Target filled.
Pretty sweet. Up to 2,600 now. Got a single contract fill there.
Target filled.
Hey Kevin, you said, are you using any of the rapidly moving graphics to make any trading decisions? I'm actually not. I haven't done anything manual since we turned on the strategy today. Joe, you said, hello Connor, how does L2Azimuth differentiate spoofing from legitimate large orders? L2Azimuth works super well for me so far. Keep it up, man. Great to hear, Joe. So glad that it's doing well. So L2Azimuth uses a complex 8 metric system where we mathematically define 8 different metrics that we got from actual court cases with spoofing, where the CFTC actually investigated these spoofers and found them guilty of spoofing. And they
Target
used these
filled.
8 metrics to prove that they were guilty. Now, these metrics can actually be calculated in real time with publicly available data. And that's exactly what we did with L2Azimuth, is that we created a software to do that in real time. We take these 8 different metrics and we score them into a single probability matrix. Once this is done, we run those through a couple other filters, like of course our microcongruity filter, and that gives us a spoofing probability score. And of course, you also have to time the cycle of spoofing, because just because you know it's happening doesn't mean that you can make money on it. You have to make sure that you get it at the peak or the trough of the cycle in order to be able to exploit their behavior. And you can actually read all about that in the white paper that I posted
Target
in our
filled.
chat. Thank you so much for the awesome question, Joe, and I'm glad that L2Azimuth is working well for you.
Target filled.
Hey, Perrine. So it's not going to be in the installer folder. The chart is actually just in the indicators after you import it. Once you import the actual software into NinjaTrader, you'll be able to go to your workspaces and then just load up the workspace, and everything will be loaded, including the Analytica Chart 4 Plus.
Target filled.
Hey there, Luke. I am on Sierra Prime.
Target filled.
Hey, Ian, you said, how do you
Target
determine order
filled.
size? I've just scaled up from one contract. I've had a single contract open, like starting out on a small account, and we've scaled up as we've continued. Now, of course, on a PA account,
Target
you're not
filled.
going to be able to scale up the same way due to those trailing drawdowns, but we found 6 to be very well for risk-adjusted returns on the large state picks account size.
Target filled.
Up to 182
Target
viewers
filled.
today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, leaving a like would be very, very helpful. And if you're interested in watching these future streams, if you sign up for our email list on the website, we always shoot out emails before these streams happen. And you can subscribe and click the notification bell, and it'll
Target
notify you when
filled.
we're going live.
Target filled.
Well, guys, we're actually right above our profit target of $4,000 today. I say we did pretty well, especially with the tons of volatility we're getting from these new gigantic tariffs that were coming in. Still adapting to the market. Obviously, my long-term portfolio is not doing very well, so today we kind of got some of that back with that gain in the overnight session and the opening. But yeah, guys, I mean, obviously volatility happens, and I'm personally, all my long-term holdings, I haven't sold anything. I've increased my weekly buy because, I view it as stocks are on sale. But of course, that's not investment advice. That's just what I'm personally doing. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I do appreciate it. And if you want to check out L2Azimuth, it's actually 20% off right now with code R33update. And thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you guys tuning in today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.